A lot of people, when they start eating raw food, find that they miss conventional cheese. And what's interesting about that actually is that what most people are actually missing is the salt and not the dairy. And indeed, dairy does bring up a lot of health issues for most people, including myself. So finding an alternative cheese recipe can only be a good thing. And this cashew and macadamia cheese is a great replacement. It's very versatile. And the best news of all, it's super quick and easy to make. So I'm going to introduce you to the ingredients here for this particular recipe. And we have garlic here, which we'll be chopping up in a second. We have water, which needs to be good quality water, of course. We have macadamia nuts, which are going to form the base of our cheese, and also cashew nuts. And we have 1 cup of each, so that's very important. We have equal amounts. So whether you choose to make little or a lot, you just need to make sure that the amounts of the nuts are identical. And then finally in here we have some lemon juice, and the lemon juice is really important for actually kind of giving that kick to the cheese, and it also helps to bind it. So that's really all there is to it. And the equipment that we need is the food processor. Now if you don't have a food processor, you can absolutely use a hand blender, which will work just as well, but this obviously is going to be much faster and easier to use. So to start off with, just going to put our nuts in here, so the cashews and then the macadamias. And then we're going to put in our lemon juice. And then what we need as far as garlic goes is just half a clove. It depends obviously how large your cloves of garlic are, and a lot of this you'll do to taste anyway. So as these ones are quite small, I'm doing about 3/4 of one. And you just want to make sure that any other bits that don't look good are just removed. And then you can just pop it in whole, actually, like that, if your blender's good especially. And then I'm just going to add in a tiny bit of water just to help the mixture round. And then we save some water because chances are that at a later point you're going to want to add some more in just to kind of make it a bit more runny. So we're going to process this. Okay, now at this stage we've got something that looks a bit like cottage cheese, and it's quite thick, okay? And you've got some choices here. You can either keep it as it is, which is actually quite nice. We can pop it back on again, add a tiny bit more water to it, okay, which will just help to thin it out a touch. So, just do that. Then just another quick process. Great. So what happens now, as you can see, is that it's not so lumpy as before. It's actually quite smooth, and this is really nice as it is. I'm just going to do a quick taste test on it. It's so yummy. Now, if you are one of those people that loves cheese because of the salt, now would be a good time to add in a tiny bit of salt to that. So you want Celtic sea salt, Himalayan crystal salt, but I actually like this just as it is. The other thing that you can do with this, aside from just kind of keeping it in an airtight container in the fridge for a few days, it probably lasts 5 to 7 days because it's got the lemon juice to preserve it, is you can also thin it out even further with some water and actually create like a dressing with it. So there's really kind of no end to what you can do. So one of the great things about it as it currently stands, actually I'm going to demonstrate this for you, is if you scoop some out, it actually shapes really well just by hand, and because there's not too much water in it, it holds together quite well. So if you want to kind of separate it off, you can even cube it. If you add slightly less water than we have at this stage, if you want to cube it, it will hold together even better. It'll be drier, and you can actually do like cheese and pineapple on sticks, which is really cool, obviously for parties. So that's the cheese. What else can you do with it? Well, obviously serve it as a side dish with salads. You can spread it on crackers. You could even make sandwiches with it. I also use it on my pizza. So you can make a raw pizza base through whatever means you choose to do that. You put some of this cheese on top, some tomato sauce, whatever toppings you want. You've got an awesome dish, whatever way you choose to do with it. So I hope this becomes a staple in your kitchen at home. because it's absolutely delicious and it's certainly going to fill that gap that some of the other foods may not fill.